Alright, what is going on today, everybody? Welcome back to the Withrow Racing YouTube channel. Today we're going to be putting in the new 9-inch center section we built in the last video. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch that video. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and bear with me because I'm a little bit sick and I'm probably going to be sneezing a lot and blowing my nose a lot. So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so here's the new center section that we built. It's a strange case. It's got a NASCAR yoke on it for NASCAR, and it's got a belt groove on it for a oil cooler, but we're not going to need that. And it's got a Daytona carrier and 373 gears, so it should be a good cruiser, and it should do good on the street, and it shouldn't take off too hard where it spins the tires on the track. But let's get to putting this thing in here. Alright, y'all, so first things first, you're going to want to make sure to put silicone on this so it doesn't leak. And yeah, so we're just going to lay some silicone on here. And I was filming the video, putting it in the same day that I got the last video done. And I got it in here and went to go assemble it, put the axles in, and with it being a locker, both axles are supposed to spin the same way at the same time, and they weren't spinning, and the yoke wasn't spinning either. So we took it back out, figured out that somebody that we bought it from took the springs out of it and then sold it to us. So yeah, that was good. We had to buy some new springs for it. But today we're going to be, hopefully this will be the last video on putting the rear end together. I'm going to be doing the brakes and putting this center section in. And just like that, we got silicone on it. I think I'm going to put a little bit more at the bottom, just so that it doesn't leak at the bottom. And yeah, so now let's get this center section put in there. That's going to be fun. Alright, so we've got this freaking hoss right here. This thing feels like it weighs about 120 pounds. And I'm going to try and put this up in here. So yeah, let's get into this. This is going to be fun. Let me get some washers prepared. Oh. Hopefully y'all can see that all right. It's tough being a one-man crew sometimes. Oh. This thing's so heavy. Oh, I got it. There. That wasn't that bad. My dad made it sound like it was a lot harder to get this thing in there. So now we're going to get all the nuts and washers put on it, and the center section will be installed hopefully for the last time. Alright, y'all, so just like that, the new strange center section is installed, and we're going to get to putting the axles in now. So yeah, let's get into that. Alright, so we've got the new Willwood disc brake calipers, the new Willwood rotors, and the new parking brakes we're going to be installing. If you haven't watched that video, it's probably one of my first videos when I installed the new rear end housing in the truck. Go watch it too. But we're going to go ahead and start installing the parking brakes. So yeah. Okay, so here's the new parking brakes. They go on just like that, and normally, if you're doing this at home, like if you get this kit, it'll come with these. But like a regular bolt, you normally have, because on a big housing or 9-inch rear end, you have to shave half the bolt down so that it'll clear the housing, which is what I had to do on my Suburban. But these make it really nice because you put them in there and then they don't spin, which is really nice when you're tightening the bolts up to so you don't have to put a wrench on it, and so that you don't have to shave the heads of the bolts off. So here's our new, see if I can get this in frame. Yeah, so these are the new Moser 31 spline axles. They've got lightning holes, which every axle comes with, or I think they come with at least one of these holes. It's called an axle. All right, what I was saying was they all should at least, or new axles come with at least one of these holes. It's called an access hole, so that you can get these bolts tight and not have to fight it. But we're gonna go ahead and slide these new Moser axles in, and yeah, hopefully. Oh wait. I need to put the backing plate on there first. All right. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a whole lot better than last time. This looks kind of hard to do. Dang it, I gotta get an extension. Oh wait, I have one right here actually. Thanks to Craftsman Tools. We need sponsors. All right. All right, so now I'm gonna be grabbing a caliper and, oh shoot, almost dropped it, and a rotor. So I've got the new parking brake in and one axle in, and now we're gonna get to unboxing this stuff. Like I said, if you haven't already watched, I think it's one of my first videos, or like one of my first good videos. I unboxed all this stuff for the first time. But what we've got here is we've got Willwood calipers, directions, and the shims are somewhere, and the hardware's somewhere. But I've got to bolt these on. So if you get this kit from Willwood, it'll come with the shims to space the calipers, hardware to bolt it onto the backing plate, and 2 sets of pads for the calipers. All right, so sorry. The next thing is we're gonna slide the rotors on so we can start getting the calipers put on. All right, so now we're gonna take the new calipers and start trying to get them shimmed out and put on. Okay, so you have to take the caliper apart and you have to slide this thing out, and what it does is it slides through these 2 holes in the top of the pads, and that's what holds the pads in. All right, so y'all are in the same boat I am on this, but basically what you have to do is you have to take the caliper apart, and then you take and slide this out. And what this does is, well, yeah, you get the gist. It slides through these holes just like that, and it locks the caliper together. So I'm gonna put the other pad in, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, so now I've got everything. I didn't have to do any shimming. Sometimes, some applications you do, but I got the caliper bolted on. Everything's done on this side, and so now I'm gonna be moving on to the other side. All right, so I guess like what they say, the first time's always smoother than the last, or the second time's always smoother than the first. But now I'm gonna be assembling the rest of this side, and oh my gosh, what in the world was that? I gotta see what went on over here. Oh shoot, that's not good. My header's in the floor, my piping's everywhere, the battery box turned over. This is not good. All right, I got that cleaned up. That was a hot mess. But now let's get back to what we were doing. I think the camera's rolling. Yeah. All right. All right. Alrighty, so just like that, we've got the new parking brake on, the new axles in, or new axle in, and the backing plate on, and now we're gonna move on to putting the caliper and stuff back and the rotor on. So yeah, I have to say the brakes are probably the worst part of this job, just because of the fact that Willwood puts probably half a bottle of freaking Loctite in these bolts, because whenever you take them off, the impact won't even hardly take them apart. Now, if you're using a Milwaukee, yeah, it'll probably come apart, but my Craftsman won't take it apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these bolts out, and yeah. All right, so I've got the caliper took apart. On my truck, I don't have to shim these. Some vehicles you might have to shim them apart. Mine you don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide the pads in, and then yeah, just like that. That one's in. Just like this. This one's in. And now I'm going to bolt these back together. And always make sure these come with O-rings in them. One side doesn't, one side does. One side has a fluid pass through and the other side doesn't. Make sure you put them back on the right side with the O-rings in them. This is the one with the pass through in it. See, it's got the O-ring in it right here. Okay, so just like that, we've got a fully assembled Moser 9-inch center section with a strange housing or case and Willwood disc brakes. So one step closer to the S10 being to the track. It should be running here in the next few weeks. We've got headers we've got a header tube that we had to do a little bit of modification on. If you own an S10, you know that it's really tight in the engine bay, and we had to make the pipe work around the steering shaft because the way it comes out, the back exhaust port comes out pretty much right at the steering shaft. So if you buy headers for it, they're most likely not going to fit. But yeah. All right, so just like that, we've got a fully assembled 9-inch for the S10. If you haven't already, go watch my last video of when we assembled the center section for the rear end, and watch the video, one of my first videos of when I put the housing in the truck. But yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one.